everyone, welcome to episode 32 of Otome Shimai.
I'm Vki.
And I'm Vka.
And we are sisters who play Otome games.
Today, we will be discussing a mobile Otome game in...
Mobile romance, Bishounen on the Go-nen. How did I end up romancing this ultra hot guy on my phone? Ikemen Vampire.
Quick little insert. My sister was trying to say this line earlier today, and she could not say discussing a mobile Otome game, but she could rattle off the entire title of this series with no breaths easily.
Well, I mean, number one, I came up with the name.
Yes, you did.
But also, I have practiced saying it so many times because when I came up with the name and you originally rejected it, your reason was that nobody would be able to say it. And so I made sure that I could say it. However, discussing a mobile Otome game.
Those are words that are more difficult than mobile romance, Bishounen on the Go-nen, how did I end up romancing this ultra hot guy on my phone?
You just did it. Perfectly.
I'm ashamed of myself. Anyways, we are talking about Ikemen Vampire today.
Season 1.
That's right, Season 1 overview. So we'll be talking about what it is, where to get it, and how to play.
We're also going to be talking to you about the Season 1 characters and some of the general plot lines. We will only be discussing characters who appear in Season 1. There are 3 new Season 2 characters, but we're not going to be mentioning them by name at all because spoilers and complicated. It would make it very confusing.
That's right. We will also be talking about some of the people who do appear in Season 1 but are not allies, but they will be very short, kind of listed as side characters at the end.
Yeah, and just FYI, those characters do become allies later on.
Yes, they do. But first, who are you doing this week?
Who are you doing this week, Vka? Who did you do this week? Is more accurate.
In preparation for this episode, I did Vincent van Gogh. The whole thing.
Vincent van Gogh?
Vincent van Gogh.
Because that's how you say Vincent van Gogh in Japanese.
That's right. Anyways, I did Vincent van Gogh. I finished his route because his was the last route on my agenda in preparation for this episode, basically.
Good job.
Yes,
I'm proud of you.
I finished an entire route. What about you?
Well, I think I said last time that I was doing Theodorus van Gogh.
That's right.
So I finished Theodorus van Gogh, and then within 48 hours, I completed Jeanne d'Arc and William Shakespeare.
So you did 3 routes this week.
Yes.
And I did 1 route this week.
You did like a third of a route.
We have different responsibilities and time availability, guys.
I know. You have cats. It takes up so much of your time.
It really does. On to today's topic. Ikemen Vampire, Temptation in the Dark, Ijin Tachi to Koi no Yuwaku. So, the love's temptation of Ijin Tachi, who are important people.
Important people. Ijin Tachi.
Love's temptation of important people.
Love's temptation of important people.
I think they did better when they translated it to English and said Temptation in the Dark. Although Ijin Tachi to Koi no Yuwaku makes sense. It's just very...
It sounds very nice in Japanese, but when you directly translate it, it sounds very strange.
Yes. So, Ikemen Vampire is a mobile game. Duh, because we're doing mobile game Bishounen on the Go-nen. So,
mobile romance Bishounen on the Go-nen.
Okay, sorry. It is a mobile game. It's part of Cyber's Ikemen series. We have done an episode already on Ikemen Sengoku.
2 episodes.
2 episodes, yes. And this is part of the same setup. So you can get it on your friendly app store, Apple, Google Play, whatever you use.
Unlike Ikemen Sengoku, there was never a Vita port for this, so it's only a mobile game currently. However, it has been translated into Japanese, English, and most recently Korean.
That's kind of cool. So let's talk about the story. We'll go into a little bit of the prologue.
Yeah, so the setup for this is MC, the main character, a travel agent from Tokyo and travel blogger as a side hustle, is spending the day at the
Louvre
in Paris for the purposes of fulfilling her dreams, but also getting content for her blog. She ends up speaking to a mysterious man as they observe the coronation of Napoleon.
Which is a painting. The coronation of Napoleon is a painting.
Yeah, they weren't actually
at the coronation of Napoleon, because this is set in now times, by the way.
Anyways, the mysterious man leaves through a mysterious hallway, and she follows him, because of course you would follow a mysterious man down the hallway.
That's right.
MC comes across a large, intricate door with no signage, and thinking it's an exhibit, goes through the door and finds a gigantic hallway of clocks, which is a very Otome game thing to happen.
That is. It's very Alice.
Yeah. At the end of the hallway, she finds herself in a grand mansion with her exit route having disappeared into thin air.
Ooh, bye-bye.
Yeah, she then starts to hear whispers of someone asking to drink her blood, but she doesn't see anyone. Then suddenly she finds herself face to face with Mystery Man number 2, who gallantly keeps her safe from Mystery Man number 3, who is hitting on her.
Okay, so Mystery Man number 1 has disappeared. Mystery Man number 2 is being a savior, and Mystery Man number 3 just wants her goodies.
Yeah, is just flirting with her.
Cool. Anyways, so more mystery men appear as a butler shows up to escort her to a banquet set up by the original mystery man from the Louvre.
There he is.
He introduces himself as Comte de Saint-Germain and brushes off her questions with, "Answers will just confuse you, so let's go have dinner." The banquet is where MC meets most of the love interests. She's confused because all of the men happen to have names of famous historical figures.
Yeah, very confused at this point. Lecomte tries to explain the door to her later, and explains that an hourglass must empty over a month in order for her to return to her own time?
She does not get it.
It just happens to be a magical door and a magical hourglass in a mansion in 19th century France where historical figures live. We're in 19th century France now, guys.
That's
the door
right.
took us to 19th century France.
Time travel.
Yeah. So Lecomte offers to let her stay with them because danger time travel.
Obviously.
That night, she dreams about getting her blood sucked. Ooh, scary. Yeah, so she gets up to get some water, and the butler tells her that the dream was a warning that she should never give up her body or her heart, as all the residents of the mansion are indeed vampires.
Shocking. So, you're stuck in a mansion in 19th century France with a bunch of famous dudes from history who are also vampires for a month.
Have fun!
Yay! That is the intro to Ikemen Vampire Temptation in the Dark. Honestly, I think it's a pretty good storyline setup.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So let's talk a little bit about the gameplay first.
A little bit?
Okay, a lot of it.
Let's talk very in-depth about how to play this game, because it's a mobile game and there are many moving parts.
That's right. So, just generally, Ikevamp is a free-to-play game, so you don't have to spend money, but if you do want to spend money, you get some cool goodies.
There's a lot of sexy time in this game, guys.
That's right. Ikevamp's currency is gold, which can be earned through gameplay, login bonuses, and events. The other currency is diamonds. That is bought with real monies or earned through login bonuses or completing routes. So usually if you want to get the good, sexy, happy scenes, you're going to have to pay with real money, and that is diamonds.
Yeah. So for the actual story, the way that you do it is there are 26 chapters, which include the ending in each route. And you get 5 free tickets per day, which will get you through one chapter. You can earn or purchase more tickets to get you through faster, but if you're okay doing one chapter per day, you can get through a route in under a month.
Yes, very, very easily.
But there are some things that you have to do in addition to just using the story tickets to get through the chapters.
That's right. You can't just play through the story.
No.
There are things that happen in between that allow you to progress.
This is a mobile game. Just doing the story is not allowed. So the first thing that you should know is about battles. Battles are mini games using cards from the gacha that we will talk about later, where you pit your beauty and intimacy against an opponent.
That's right. You have to be both beautiful and intimate in order to win this battle.
Yes. Battles require stamina and can be done one by one or consecutively. Stamina is just one of those things that replenishes over time, so you just gotta wait after battling. Doing really well will reward the player with a quote-unquote secret date where you unlock some sexy spoken lines from the main partner card that you're using in your deck.
That's right. I love it.
Yeah.
They're my favorite.
You love the
because they
secret
tell you
dates.
how much they want you and how much they love you.
As you're going through the story, you will need to do an intimacy check. In order to move forward, every so often a chapter will require one of these intimacy checks in order for you to continue. Gaining intimacy is done through items or the battle system, which is why you need to make sure to battle whenever you can.
Another thing that happens in between is avatar challenges. These basically unlock either the normal story or the premium stories at each checkpoint. Usually they come with some sexy romantic scenes. And what you have to do is choose the avatar item to purchase, either with gold for the normal scene or with diamonds for the premium scene. As with Ikemen Sengoku, the premium scenes are saved in your memory section, which again I'll talk about later, for unlimited replay while the normal ones are not. Hint hint, premium avatar items usually result in some spicy, hot for historic figures content.
Yes, once again, you pay for sex.
Yay!
That is a pretty consistent thing in the Ikemen series. You get to pay for the sexy, sexy, sexy time.
That's right. So the premium scenes require diamonds. The normal scenes require gold. Another thing that requires diamonds is the gacha. So there are two different types of gacha. One is the avatar gacha, which is, as described, items for your avatar. Basically clothes or items that you can put on your avatar. And then there's the premium gacha, which are cards featuring the allies in your deck. You can use, like I said, diamonds or gacha tokens, which are game rewards that you can get throughout playing the game. There are no free pulls per day like in Ikemen Sengoku, unfortunately, but they do have a once per day discounted pull option. So instead of paying 300 diamonds for one pull, you can pull for 90 diamonds once per day.
Yeah. So going off of that, your cards, the gacha will give you the cards that you need to use in battle. You can also put a card of your choice on your home screen. And it'll give you these little voice lines and stuff.
That's right. You tap on their faces and they will say things to you.
Yeah. And the high level cards will have a special image in addition to the voice lines. And the voice lines will also be different depending on what time you log in. Like they'll wish you good morning and be like, "Why are you awake so late?" Interesting fact. Unlike many other gacha games, in Ikevamp, you really only need to gather a few high-level cards before being set for the entire game.
That's right. You don't need to pull gacha obsessively.
Yeah. The battles that you do pit you against other players' cards, so there isn't any leveling in terms of difficulty as you play through.
That's right.
I don't think I have pulled a gacha in a year.
I only pull gachas when there's a specific card or character that's featured on that card that I really, really want. But yeah, basically you just need to pull once, and if you get a high level card, say you get a 4-star card, stick it in your deck and you're good for the rest of the game.
Yeah, exactly. In addition to the cards, they have events.
Yes, events.
Yeah. Much like Cybird's other Ikemen series games, there will usually be an event going on where you can collect special stories about certain allies, as well as items and gold to help you progress through the game. The specifics of how you gain access to the stories depend on the event. Luckily, each one always comes with directions.
My favorite are the kiss events, where all you really have to do is play the game like normal, and then go into the event to smooch your favorite ally. Sexy smoochy sounds included.
And by smooch your favorite ally, she means tap on your phone.
That's right. Tap, tap, smooch, smooch. So the last things about the gameplay that we're going to talk about are, the shop. So this is where you go to buy everything. Diamonds, avatar items, sets from each event that's going on, cards that you want, or consumable items that help you get through the story, like things that increase your intimacy or things that increase your beauty. And lastly, there's the memory section. This is where you can reread premium stories or stories you won through events. The spice lives here.
The old, dusty, historical spice.
Don't let old and dusty deter you. It is quite sexy.
It is quite sexy. and when we say it's quite sexy, we're talking about, have you ever gone to the airport to get on a flight and realized that your phone is out of battery, you didn't bring a charger, you don't have anything to do, you forgot a book, and you go into one of those little airport bookstores and the only thing they have is super trashy romance novels?
Yes.
That is the type of smut that you can expect in this game. Trashy airport romance novel.
I love it.
But about historical figures.
I had no idea where you were going with that. I was like, why are you taking us through an airport? Where are we going here?
But am I wrong?
You are not wrong. They are very sexy, and they often include lots of sexy sounds, too.
Yeah, it's descriptive.
It's very descriptive. And
some lines are voiced.
Yes, so 10 out of 10 would recommend. Yeah. I often buy premium stories for my favorite LIs so that I can keep them in my memories to go back and listen to. Also, events that are really cool, I will buy the premium stories for those as well.
Yeah. And if you don't like want to actually spend a whole lot of money, the ones that have like the super, super, super sexy parts are going to be the last 2 premium stories in the route.
That's right. So once you get to your avatar challenge at the end of the route, maybe like after chapter 22 or so, you'll probably want to spend diamonds on those avatar items so that you can get the spicier premium scene instead of the regular romance scene. Although I have gone through entire routes just not paying through for any content, and a lot of them are really, really good either way.
Yeah. No, I mean, they are good either way, but I want the spice.
The dusty old historical spice.
The old dusty historical spice. Gimme, gimme.
Okay, so let's talk about the characters. First, let's talk about the MC.
The MC is an adult.
Yay!
Yay!
An actual adult, just like Ikemen Sengoku.
Yeah.
She is an adult woman with a job.
Yeah, she is Japanese, as usual in these games. She works as a travel agent and travel blogger on the side. She loves to travel. She's a polyglot. She speaks a lot of languages.
That's right.
And we'll talk more about her at the end of this in our discussion portion. In the game, she doesn't have a name.
Right, she doesn't have a name. But there is a live-action movie from 2021 called Napoleon and Me.
Why?
In Japanese, it's called Napoleon to Watashi, literally Napoleon and Me, where her name is Haruko. And let me just read the synopsis from Asian Wiki on Napoleon Me from 2021 because I find this hilarious. 28-year-old Haruko Ohara works as a sales assistant at Web Production Company. She has never experienced true happiness, and she has a crush on her coworker Shingo Iwata.
That is no one. Don't remember that.
It's not important. One day, while Haruko Ohara is installing a dating game, Napoleon appears on the screen. Napoleon tells her that he will help her find true happiness. This is not the plot of the game, but it is official.
Yeah, the only thing that this has to do with the Ikemen series is the fact that Napoleon is in it, and he looks like Napoleon from the game.
Pretty much. Cybird was involved in creating this movie, but it has literally nothing to do with the plot of the game, so I just found that very interesting. And I wanted to share it.
Yeah. They didn't get a Vita version, but they got a movie that has nothing to do with the plot.
Anyways, let's introduce the love interest of Season 1.
The love interest of Season 1. Who is our poster boy?
Our poster boy, of course, is Napoleon Bonaparte, the charismatic leader. His voice actor is Shimazaki Nobunaga. Yes, this actor's name is Nobunaga, who is also the main character of Ikemen Sengoku. No. That doesn't make sense. I'm saying things strangely. Anyways, his name is Nobunaga, and it confuses me because I keep wanting to call him Nobunaga, and then I call him Napoleon, and it's really confusing.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with this last night because Napoleon is voiced by Nobunaga.
Exactly. Anyways, let's talk about Napoleon. Napoleon is our ever-resilient soldier boyfriend. He's tasked with protecting MC at the beginning of his route, and he forms a sweet but still fairly formal relationship with her. He's good with kids and helps Isaac...
We'll talk about Isaac later.
Instruct the young ones who don't have the background to be able to get an education. So Isaac's in charge of the math, and Napoleon is in charge of the murder.
Because he's a soldier.
That's right. History did Napoleon dirty according to this route. Not as much as Jeanne d'Arc, but more on that later. Because he's not short, he's not self-absorbed, and actually he has quite high moral standards. He's a good man with a good heart and a chip on his shoulder.
Poster boy!
Poster boy, Napoleon.
Poster boy.
I really liked doing Napoleon's route. I
Yeah.
played his route, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, I remember when we both first started this game, I was like, I'm going to do Napoleon, and you got really mad at me because you were like, well, when we played Ikemen Sengoku, you got to do Nobunaga, so I get to do Napoleon.
Yes, that is exactly how that conversation went. Because that's how I sound.
But you did get to do Napoleon. Napoleon is your boyfriend. Congratulations.
Thank you. I really liked Napoleon.
Yeah.
He was a good intro to this game. You know who I also did?
Yeah, who did you also do?
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, the haughty musician.
Who is he voiced by?
Toyonaga Toshiyuki.
Orlok?
That's right, he is voiced by Orlok. He's voiced by Orlok's voice actor.
And sounds nothing like him.
It's really amazing, actually, because
No.
I really liked Wolfgang's voice acting, and
Mozart is sexy.
Is super sexy, but I didn't get the same vibe from Orlok. Anyways, I think Wolfgang is probably like the coolness cool.
He's really grumpy.
That's why I like him.
Yes, that
obviously.
is you and the grumpy men. You and the grumpy men, Vka.
Well, anyways, Wolfgang is a musical genius, obviously, because if you don't know who Mozart is, then I don't know what to say to you. He's a musical genius with a bad attitude and a grumpy disposition. His whole route is about composing his greatest work and how he has no time or energy for MC's nonsense. Reasonably so. He literally tells her he despises her at the beginning of her route.
Perfect. Exactly your
That's
type.
right. At the beginning of his route, he is like, I don't like you. And she's like, cool, let me love you. Eventually, she breaks down his icy heart walls, and he teases her into romantic submission with music, chocolate, and a story about a flower being trampled by a pretty girl. Don't ask me why I remember this in so much detail. Just go play the route. It's really sweet. Anyways, like I said, he's got a very nice voice, because I didn't even realize it was Orlok's voice actor from Pio Fiore no Bancho, and he has very talented hands.
Ooh.
There's a little bit of angst, a lot of bit of teasing, and a good amount of drama.
Like in all of the roots.
That's right.
This game is angsty, guys.
Let's talk about some more angst here.
Yes. So the first person who I ended up doing, because Vka was like, you can't have Napoleon, was Leonardo da Vinci, the ingenious deceiver.
Who's his VA?
Tsuda Kenjiro. So
Sexy.
if you're gonna have the sexy voices, here's where it's at.
Yep.
Leonardo is the Sakamaki Shu of Ikemen Vampire.
What does that mean?
It means that he will sleep wherever the fuck he feels like. So don't be surprised if you find him napping under a desk.
Or in the hallway.
Yeah, sprawled out in the hallway. Like, just, I don't know.
This man is good at sleeping.
Yes. Interestingly enough, he's known as being the lone wolf of the mansion, despite actually being quite friendly to MC and well known for being a helpful and nice dude throughout the city.
Maybe it's just because he's asleep and he's not really involved in all the things that are going on.
Yeah, he kind of does whatever he wants, but I wouldn't necessarily call him a lone wolf because everyone just kind of really likes him.
Okay.
He takes MC on many outings in his routes and is a pretty cool dude, but he does keep her at arm's length because of angsty reasons.
That's right. Angst.
Oh, he also smokes cigarillos, which are a mix between a cigarette and a cigar, and we only know what that is because of this game.
Well, you only know what that is because of this game.
Okay, fine. But remember we were talking about this, and we were like, what's a cigarillo? And then my significant other who was in the room was like, a cigarillo is this. So thank you, my significant other.
Thank you, Vicky's significant other, for explaining cigarillos.
Yes. So Leonardo is an old friend of Lecomte,
That's right.
Saint Germain, and the story of how he came to live in the house is a little bit different from the other allies.
But we won't go into that here.
Nope. He also refers to the MC as
Cara mia.
in a sexy voice because Tsuda Kenjiro.
Obviously.
Yes.
Let's talk about another sexy love interest.
Yes. Arthur Conan Doyle, the frivolous playboy.
I wouldn't expect him to be sexy, but oh my, he is so sexy in this game.
Yes. He is voiced by Kimura Ryohei, which is probably one of the reasons why he is sexy.
Yes.
So Arthur is the fuckboy writer.
Not kidding.
Nope.
He is a fuckboy.
He is a fuckboy. Made very clear at the beginning of his route and in all of the routes.
That's right. Literally all of the routes.
He is a player. He is very open about it. He also flirts with the MC from the moment they meet and does flirt with her in every single route. But don't let that fool you into thinking that he is not smart as a whip and doesn't take his work seriously.
That's right.
He is extremely intelligent, and when it comes down to it, he does get really serious about everything that he does. He and the MC create a little detective team together, and they go out and solve mysteries with their constant flirtatious banter.
That's awfully cute.
It was awfully cute. He's also drinking buddies with Theodorus van Gogh, despite the fact that neither of them can drink very well.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You will often find Arthur drinking coffee and writing or playing chess.
Yes, exactly.
Those are things he enjoys doing.
He loves games.
That's right.
He's always like, let's play a game. And that means you're gonna lose. Kimono Ryohei does a great job of voicing Arthur. So if you are into Nicola from Pio Fiore, like, this is your guy.
I mean, maybe that's why I was so into Arthur.
Yeah, they do have similar vibes. So let's go in a completely different direction.
Yes, this person is not a fuckboy. They are Vincent Van Gogh, the gentle angel.
Is he, though?
I mean,
maybe.
You'll have to play his route to find out.
Maybe.
Anyways, he's voiced by Aramaki Yoshiko. I don't think that person has done much, to be honest. The Van Gogh brother voice actors.
Yeah, the Van Gogh brother voice actors haven't done as much as some of the other guys in this route. The Ikemen series is really interesting because they're partially voiced.
Yes.
So you'll get lines every once in a while, and there will always be some, like, A-list voice actors, but then they'll also cast people who, I mean, we have never heard of, despite the fact that we've been playing Otome games for going on 15 years now. So it's always a like good fun way to find new people who we like.
Yes, and I actually quite liked Vincent's voice actor. He's so sweet. He sounds wonderful. So let's talk a little bit more about Vincent Van Gogh. He is the oldest Van Gogh brother and an artistic genius. We all know who Vincent Van Gogh is. Starry Night, Sunflowers. He is a lover of everything, including pancakes, just like his little brother, because this man does not have an angry bone in his body. Actually, he doesn't have any emotional bones in his body because he's literally just a cinnamon roll and is friends with literally everyone. Even super sus William Shakespeare.
Ugh, super sus William Shakespeare.
His relationship with the MC unlocks his emotions and things start to escalate a little bit. Suddenly, he's no longer a cinnamon roll, but a spicy jalapeno cheese bread because things get quite hot and steamy after he and MC unlock the love achievement.
I mean, I love how, because he was originally cinnamon roll, you had to compare him to another type of bread. And Vka literally came to me yesterday and she was like, "What is a spicy bread?" And I was like, "A spicy bread?"
Yeah. I mean, he's still a cinnamon roll, but he can be very jalapeno-esque.
He can be very jalapeno.
So let's talk a little bit more about the other Van Gogh brother.
The other Van Gogh brother, Theodorus Van Gogh, the enterprising devil, voiced by Sato Hisanori, which, once again, we couldn't find a lot on. He hasn't done very much stuff, but he does a great job of voicing Theo.
Yes.
Theo is the younger Van Gogh brother, art dealer extraordinaire. He may call the MC puppy in Dutch and come off as a total ass, but he's actually very thoughtful and sweet once you get past the slightly crunchy outer layer. It's really interesting because when you see Theo in other people's roots, he does seem like kind of a dick.
Yes, he's quite grumpy.
Yeah.
Like, very, very grumpy and judgmental.
Yeah, exactly. But in his root, like, once you actually get to know him, he's really nice. Like, he's super, super thoughtful. And he's also very smart.
That's right.
But he does have a bit of a brother complex.
He has a brother complex to the max.
Yes, he would quite literally do anything for Vincent.
Yes,
he basically only listens to Vincent.
I think in Vincent's route, he's actually quite nice as well, but that's the only other route where you find out that Theo's a nice guy. It's because his brother is the main.
You. His brother loves you.
That's right.
Interestingly enough, Theo has quite the sweet tooth. Hi, Tata. The cat is making her pants.
Here somewhere.
Yeah. So Theo has quite the sweet tooth and will drown his pancakes in syrup. It's quite the gap moe.
That's right. The Van Gogh brothers love pancakes.
They love pancakes. One of them likes syrup on their pancakes and the other does not. Theo takes it upon himself to appoint MC as his assistant, which means Theo's route actually has a lot of Theo.
Surprisingly.
Like, you're with Theo the entire time. It also has a lot of art, because art dealer.
And a lot of Vincent.
And a lot of Vincent. Yeah, I mean, if you hang out with one Van Gogh brother, you're going to hang out with the other Van Gogh brother.
It's obvious.
So you are no longer a travel agent, you are now an art dealer.
Woohoo!
If you're looking for a career change, this is your guy.
I really liked when you did the playthrough of Theo's route because I totally had a different expectation of him.
As did I.
And his was quite enjoyable.
Yeah, they make it seem like he's going to be, like, super demanding and, like, the sadist, and honestly, he does not come off like that. Like, he does tease her a lot, but he's nice.
Yes,
he's a nice dude.
I think all of the allies give a little bit of a sense of that, but let's finish talking about them before we go into kind of any final thoughts here.
Yeah.
Who's the next one we'll talk about?
Isaac Newton, the wolf in sheep's clothing, voiced by Aoi Shota. So Interestingly enough, Isaac's pet is a hedgehog.
Okay.
And I think that's quite apt because Isaac is kind of like a hedgehog.
How so?
He has a prickly exterior, but is quite fluffy underneath.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I actually think it's really interesting that they call him the wolf in sheep's clothing. I kind of felt like that would suit a different Li, not necessarily Isaac.
True.
Because Isaac is, like, he's shy. Isaac is very shy. Math and physics are his things, and he really, really, really just wants to have a quiet place to think.
I'm so sorry, Isaac. This house is not the place for that to happen.
No, this house is not quiet. Isaac teaches orphans math to balance out Napoleon teaching them murder.
As we mentioned earlier when we talked about Napoleon.
So he and Napoleon are friends.
That's right.
Yeah, and the best way to get to know Isaac is slowly.
That's right.
Yeah.
He will try to run away if you get too close too fast.
Yeah.
Isaac is a sweetie.
I did like Isaac's a lot. Like, I know why they call him a wolf in sheep's clothing. I don't want to get into that because
Spoilers!
Yeah, spoilers. But I do think his actual personality is very, very sweet. Yeah.
Yes, just don't mention apples in front of him.
No, he gets grumpy.
The next Li we're going to talk about is Jeanne d'Arc, the beautiful heretic.
So beautiful.
Yes, he is voiced by Somaya Toshiyuki. Jeanne d'Arc is a sad, angst man who doesn't want to be there.
No, he does not. Jean is the dude who's not a woman.
That's right, he is not a woman.
Because apparently Cyberd ran out of historical men to let us bone.
Yep, Cyberd did history dirty on this one.
Yep. But that's okay because this is fiction. And
right.
also Jean is...
super hot.
Super hot. He's also the most reclusive Li. Yeah. This is the one that MC has to literally stalk in order to get to know him.
Yep. He says things like, "Don't come near me again," and "Get out of here."
And she's like,
still there.
"Let me love you. Let me follow you around."
She does this a little bit with Mozart, but it's not as in your face.
Yeah, no, it's for Jean. Jean does not want to interact with the people. The thing is, Jean is super, super sweet, but his root is sad. I think his root is the saddest root.
Oof.
Like, it was really, really, really sad.
Okay.
So just be aware of that going in. Life and history has not been nice to this man.
Poor Jean.
Poor Jean. He does not deserve it. He's a super nice dude.
I think we should talk about our last Li, who may actually deserve it, in my opinion.
William Shakespeare, the possessive playwright, voiced by Hirakawa Daisuke.
Great voice actor, actually.
Yeah, but I mean, if you know the kinds of, like, LIs that Hirakawa Daisuke voices, then you know what kind of LI William Shakespeare is going to be.
Good point.
Shakespeare is the vampire that doesn't live in the house with everyone else. And he also acts as a minor antagonist in everyone else's route, despite it never being made clear exactly how and what he is doing.
That's right.
So Shakespeare's route was the last route to come out in season 1. And you do learn a lot of information for some of, like, the underlying issues that are going on in all of the routes.
Yes.
So if you're going through, I really recommend you play Shakespeare later, because otherwise there will be revelations in his route and you won't understand why they are revelations.
That's right. In all of the other LI's routes, Shakespeare is somewhat involved in some way.
Yeah.
And like Vicky said, you don't really know exactly what he's doing. But in his route, you get a little bit more information of why he does the things he does.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, in everyone else's route, he just goes around being mysterious and creepy, and you're like, ugh, this guy.
But in his route...
everything is for the story.
That's right.
This playwright is looking to see some juicy drama and get his creativity flowing, and his route does exactly that. We didn't approve of any of the choices the MC made in this route, so take that as you will.
Yes. Interesting route, enjoyable nonetheless, but wasn't necessarily something I would choose for myself.
Yeah, he's, William Shakespeare, I feel like Shakespeare is going to be one of those LIs that people are either super, super into, or they're just like, no, I don't like this type.
Let's talk about other non-Season 1 characters who appear in Season 1.
Yes.
This character is Osamu Dazai, the indulgent charlatan. He is not an Li in season 1, but is an Li in season 2.
Yep, his route just came out.
That's right, and I'm gonna start it soon.
You've been waiting for Dazai.
I know, I've been waiting to do Dazai's route.
Who voices him?
Yashiro Taku. He is, not the voice actor, the character, because I don't think the voice actor's a writer. But Osamu Dazai is a weird writer who doesn't use doors and is good at sneaking up on people. He appears very little in season 1, but is there nonetheless.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember people's names and prefers to make them up or use nicknames. Well, except for Napoleon's. No idea why he remembers Napoleon, because he calls him Napoleon-kun.
Yeah. Everyone else he has nicknames for,
That's
and
right.
he does not know the MC's name. Okay, so no. He knows the MC's name, he just calls her by a whole bunch of other names.
Yeah, I don't understand. He should be, well, anyways. Osamu Dazai. That is who he is. Next character, Comte de Saint-Germain.
The hedonistic nobleman. Voiced by Horie Kazuma.
Who is Comte de Saint-Germain?
Daddy.
He is daddy.
He is literally daddy. He is the sire of all the vampire allies, meaning he is the one who turned them.
That's right.
This is the man that MC met in the modern day.
Louvre.
Thank you for saying all the French words for me.
You're welcome.
And followed through the time door. He owns the mansion they live in and is currently a member of Parisian high society.
That's right.
He is incredibly old, incredibly powerful, and enjoys the finer things in life. He also dotes on the MC and is very protective of her and everyone in the house.
Yes. So daddy.
Like, if you want a sugar daddy, this is your guy.
That's right.
Like, in every single route, he's like, you get to stay here. I'm going to buy you things. I'm going to take you to balls. I'm going to dress you up in pretty dresses. We're going to have tea together. Do you want something? Let me give it to you. Like,
oh yes, that is the kind of relationship you'll have with Saint Germain.
it's really interesting because I am not typically into this type of character.
No, you're not.
But Saint Germain does it for me.
I think it's because he's a very mature guy.
He is.
You do like the mature guys.
I do. Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing his route is now available at the time of this recording.
Yes, it is. That's who I'm doing next.
And the last season 1 side character, but season 2 Li?
Sebastian the Stoic ? Butler.
Literally, it's a question mark in his description. Is he stoic? Is he not? He is voiced by Morishima Shuta, and he is our fellow time traveler.
Yep. Sebastian is a Japanese by nationality, human historian from the modern world who jumped at the chance to live with a bunch of famous old dudes and work as a butler.
Cool.
He's Ike Vamp Sasuke.
That's right, but instead of being a physics nerd, he's a history nerd.
Exactly. He is our friend.
That's right, he is our friend, and he is the only other human that you get to interact with.
That is true. A faced human.
That's right, the others don't have faces, and they're also kind of jerks, because, 19th century France and women.
I know, right? There's lot of sexism in here.
So, that is the introduction to all of the characters in Ikemen Vampire Season 1. Mm-hmm. Now we can talk about a little bit of our thoughts on the game and the story.
So, our first question is, what do we think of the MC?
I feel like this is going to be very controversial because I know that people like this MC, but we do not like this MC.
Yeah, we were really surprised at this game because we played Ikemen Sengoku first, and we love the MC in Ikemen Sengoku, Mizusaki Mai. But the MC in Ikemen Vampire, we have pretty consistently become frustrated with because she is an adult woman. It's made obvious that she is well-traveled. Like, she travels by herself a lot. She speaks multiple languages.
She seems intelligent.
She seems intelligent, and she pretty consistently makes decisions that I feel like are contrary to that life experience. She doesn't practice the typical types of, like, self-safety measures that somebody who has traveled a lot by themselves would normally do. And I'm saying this as somebody
who has traveled
by themselves quite a bit.
Yeah.
And she'll, like, go down dark alleyways. She'll, like, confront dangerous situations by herself. She's really just like pushy in terms of like getting to know strangers that she knows are potentially dangerous.
Yes, she makes a lot of questionable decisions.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, like, that doesn't necessarily bother me. Like, there are a lot of MCs that make questionable decisions that I like. But the thing is that she does all these things, also being a character who's supposed to be well-traveled and a polyglot and very intelligent and has a job. And
yeah, it's contradictory.
Yeah, it's pretty contradictory.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating thing. So, you know, when I first went into this, I was like, yay, it's somebody who has like maybe some of the same life experiences as me. And then she started doing all of these things, and I was like, I don't understand why you are making these decisions. And that there are a couple of routes that really, really, really comes out in. It comes out in Shakespeare's route a lot.
Yeah.
She makes a lot of decisions in that route that are very obviously very dangerous. Another thing is that this game takes place over the course of 1 month.
That's right. 1 month.
1 month.
4 weeks.
She falls in love with these men very, very quickly.
That's right. And sometimes she falls in love with them without them even showing that they like her.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And Vka and I were discussing this yesterday. Like, let's say it takes her half of the route to fall in love with someone. That's 2 weeks. And even if you spend, like, every single day with the same person over a 2-week period, okay, great, you're spending time with them, but how many meaningful interactions can you actually have with a person over the course of 2 weeks, even if you see them every day?
Yeah. There's a point in the game where she has to decide whether or not she wants to stay or whether or not she wants to go, and I feel like that's a very, very difficult decision to make in the course of 4 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
And whatever decision she makes, I feel like she just doesn't have enough information to do it.
No, I agree. I feel like a lot of this could have been solved by just saying that the time period that she was in 19th century Paris was longer.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Like in Ikemen Sengoku, she's there for months.
Yeah, she's there for 3 months. So she actually has a lot more time. She has 3 times as much time to interact with people. Whereas in this route, everyone becomes extremely close extremely quickly.
Yeah.
And it's like within a couple of weeks, suddenly you have like 10 new best friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy, crazy life experience, I think. And I don't know, it might work for some people. I think just for us, because we take a while to get to know people and come to getting a like really solid relationship. It takes time. It just didn't work for us.
Yeah. Look at us complaining about how a video game is unrealistic. These are our opinions, guys. It's literally our job to overthink this type of thing, so take that as you will.
That's right. That is right. I will say that there are parts of the game where I really did enjoy the MC's interaction with the allies. Like in Vincent's route, they had a lot of fun, and they, like, the lines and the romance, it was there. I loved it.
Yeah, the flirting is great.
The flirting is great. The romance is great. The sexy time is great. I just, in the back of my head, I'm like, you are saying this after a week? Doesn't make sense. Anyways, let's talk about, instead of the MC, now that we've given our opinions, common plot points to expect.
Yeah, so there's a pretty linear, like, overall plot.
Yes.
In each route. You know, you choose the route that you're in, you meet the guy, something happens, so that you have to spend a lot of time with the guy. You will get kidnapped in basically every route.
Basically, but not all of them. But basically.
Yeah. Sometimes multiple times.
Yes, sometimes you get kidnapped multiple times.
Yeah. There is usually a rival.
Not a love rival.
Not a love rival, but a rival.
Right. Someone who wants to kill the MC or the main character, the ally. Somebody wants to kill somebody.
Yeah, somebody wants to kill somebody, and somebody comes in and causes problems. And so that's kind of one of the underlying things, because they don't know who is, like, kind of bringing all of these like dangerous rivals into the picture, and they're kind of trying to figure out who is behind all of these things.
That's right. And William Shakespeare's in the back being a sus man.
Yeah, he's being super sus. Is he the one doing it? We're not gonna tell you.
That's right, because we don't actually find out in many of the roots.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Play the roots. It's fun.
Play the roots. It's fun. So yeah, those are kind of the overall common plot points.
Yeah. Expect to be kidnapped.
Expect to be kidnapped, expect for somebody to come in and try to like fuck with your relationship, and then expect to have to make a decision about whether you're gonna go back to your own time or not.
That's right.
End.
That is the end. We are oversimplifying it a lot, but yes, that is the plot.
Yeah. I have a question.
Okay, what's your question?
Who do you think has the best chemistry with the MC?
Because
it's not the poster boy.
It's not the poster boy.
It's not Napoleon.
It's not Napoleon. I think MC and Napoleon had a great relationship, and they actually took a lot of time to get to know each other and like sort of fall in love. But I would say I think we probably have differing opinions on this.
Probably.
I don't know. Maybe you should answer first, because now I can't answer.
I mean, I think that there are two characters who have a lot of chemistry with the MC, and I also feel like their relationships were the ones that happened the most organically.
Okay.
Versus either the MC just like chasing them around and being like, I'm gonna get to know you.
So not Jean.
So not Jean.
And not Mozart.
I like Jean a lot, but no, it was like she had to fucking stalk him.
Yeah.
I really think it's going to be either Theo or Arthur.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they actually like spend a lot of time together, and it happens organically. Like the flirting is organic, nothing is forced. They're both obviously interested in her from the beginning.
Yes.
And neither of them ever tells her to fuck off, which is nice.
Yeah, that's true.
But also the way that they interact just seems a lot more natural than I think a lot of the other allies do.
Yeah, I think Arthur has quite a bit of good chemistry with MC, as well as Theo. I feel like I would say more Arthur than Theo, because Arthur's just generally kind of like into women in general, and so I feel like she would catch his eye more easily.
I mean, she catches his eye in every single rune.
That's right. And that kind of can give you a little bit of a head start in being like, oh, like he wants to interact with her, and she's like, I'm forced to interact with this person, so why not?
Yeah. So you'd say Arthur.
I'd say Arthur.
Okay. So, I mean, we basically agree then.
Yeah, we do agree.
Amazing.
Shocking.
Okay. So, guys, the next question we're going to talk about will have spoilers for Napoleon and Leonardo's roots.
That's right.
So, check the timestamps for beginning and end.
But feel free to listen if you don't mind spoilers.
Yeah. So, how the fuck does one become a vampire?
Literally, this is the question that has been plaguing us since we've started playing this game.
It's okay.
I don't understand.
So, what we do know.
This is what we know.
A full-blood vampire has to bite you.
Correct.
Things happen. And then you are a vampire.
Correct.
So, okay, we should talk about why this is confusing.
Okay, so in Napoleon's route, you learn that he is what is called a demi-vampire.
Yeah.
And basically what that means is that he retains his humanity until something happens and he becomes a vampire. So throughout the route, he is actually still quite human. He's like in transition to becoming a vampire. He has conversations with Saint Germain about like, am I turning? What's happening to me? I need blood now, because before he didn't need blood. And then he becomes a vampire. But the process, like, I have no idea.
Yeah. Like, what?
Why? How? And then in Leonardo's route...
Yeah, in Leonardo's route, so Leonardo is the only Li in season 1 who is a full-blood vampire.
That's right.
Like, he was not turned by anyone. He was born a vampire.
Yes.
He is vampire.
So he can make baby vampires.
Yes, and by baby vampires, I mean he can make baby vampires through the sexy time, but he can also make new vampires by biting people.
That's right.
So the big thing about this is that Leonardo refuses to bite MC because he says that if he bites MC, she will become a vampire.
Yes. And this makes sense because in Napoleon's route, actually, I don't know if Saint Germain bit him or how this works.
He had to have bit him, though, because Saint Germain said that he's the one who turned Napoleon, right?
Yeah. There is a part in the memory section of the game that says that a full-blooded vampire has to make a contract with a person to become a vampire or bite them. So maybe there's this, like, contract situation and a biting situation, but I don't understand which is which and how this happens.
I don't know. So in other routes mention that the biting is needed, but it is also said that other things need to happen too. Like, they literally talk about, Saint Germain will be like, in order to make a vampire, a full-blood vampire, like, has to bite you, but then other things must happen, but that's boring details, and we don't need to talk about
But
them.
I want the details. I don't understand.
Like, they literally say other things need to happen, but they're not going to discuss them. So...
Okay, so
yeah.
that makes sense. Fine. They bite her, she becomes a vampire. But that's not actually what happens, because in the game, when they bite her, she likes it and doesn't become a vampire.
It's only the full-blood vampires.
Ah, I see. Okay, so I guess I haven't done Leonardo's route, so I don't know if he bites her.
No, he doesn't.
And
Leonardo does not bite her because he specifically says, if I bite you, you will become a vampire.
And we haven't done Saint Germain's route.
Yeah.
But doesn't Saint Germain say something in one of the cards?
Yes. In one of Saint Germain's cards, he says, our fangs are made to give pleasure to our prey, to make you our captive for eternity.
So if they bite them, then they become captives for eternity? But then that doesn't turn them into a vampire.
So how do you become a vampire?
If anybody knows how to become a vampire in Ikemen Vampire, please tell us. Like, did we completely miss something? Or is there information that we don't know? Or does no one else not know how to become a vampire in this game either? Because I really want to know. I'm so confused.
There is contradictory information, because the main issue in Leonardo's route is that he won't bite her because she will become a vampire if he bites her.
That's right.
But then in Napoleon's route, Napoleon has been bitten, I guess, but is not quite a full vampire yet. But then they also say in one of Saint Germain's cards that, like,
if you get bitten, you don't necessarily have to be a vampire. You could just be prey.
I don't understand.
I don't get it.
Please explain.
Anyways, spoilers over. No more spoilers. We will not be talking anymore about Napoleon or Leonardo's route. So now that we've gone through that clusterfuck, final thoughts about season 1.
Good things, not so good things. So I really love the characters in this game.
I also really love the characters in this game.
They did such a good job just creating not only this world, but creating, like, these really deep, complex characters. There is too much angst in the story.
If you like angst, it's a great game for you. We are not people who terribly love angst.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit hard for us to get through some of the stories.
Yeah. There were some routes where I definitely had a hard time because I loved the character. I thought the character was great, but I was so frustrated with not only the plot, but also the actions of the MC that it became difficult for me to play.
Yeah, there are definitely times where I picked up a route and I was like, yes, I'm gonna love this so much. And then so many things happen where they're like, no, I can't love you. Yes, I can love you. But wait, no, I can't. Like, I just couldn't get through it in 1 month. It would take me like 2 or 3 months to actually get through one of the routes.
Yeah, so if you like angst, then oh my god, you will love this game.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
This is such an angsty game. Another thing that I really like, definitely a guilty pleasure for me, a lot of the side stories in the events are super fucking spicy.
Yeah, no, they're really good. There was a point in time where I was only playing events because they were so interesting and the main story was too angsty for me.
Yeah, like if you like the characters, then do as many events as you can. I have played through a whole bunch of events. I've also just like purchased some of the spicy stories because they are good.
They are quite good.
Like,
I cannot tell you how many side events I've done of Arthur and Mozart.
Yeah, the side stories in Ikemen Vampire is definitely my guilty pleasure, and I know that Vka will sometimes steal my phone so she can read the side stories that I have gotten.
That's right. Well, Vki is the one who likes to get the extra spicy things. I am a casual spender.
I like extra spicy.
I also actually quite like the gameplay. Like, it's very simple, very easy to adjust to. Like, in the beginning, I was kind of overwhelmed, just like I was with Ikemen Sengoku, because I did not understand Princess Time. And in this game, I did not understand battles, just like the other one. But, like, the gacha system's pretty simple. The battle system's pretty simple. You log in once or twice or 3 times a day and do some battles to get your stats up. And it's pretty simple to go through. Like, there's really nothing super complex about it.
Yeah, and I definitely liked the fact that although this is a gacha game, it's not a gacha game where you have to constantly grind the gacha. I mean, like we said before, you really only need a couple of high-level cards in order to successfully play the game.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to grind the gacha, then get all of those cards, then that is an option. But you really don't have to. You don't actually have to spend a lot of money on this game, if any money at all.
Yeah, I think most of my money went toward getting the premium endings.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the same as it was in Ikemen Sengoku. I spent most of my money trying to get the premium endings because they're good. It's a good story. Like, the writers did a good job with this game.
Yeah, like, and you know, like we said in the Ikemen Sengoku episodes, the Cyber's localization team, A+.
Yeah, no, I love the lines. I love the way the characters are written. William Shakespeare is actually written in Shakespearean English, somewhat. But mostly, yeah, it's really good. It's really good writing.
And the languages that they use.
That's right. All of the LIs are multilingual. You have some who are speaking Dutch. You have some who are speaking French. You have some who are speaking German. Like, it's quite good the way they throw things in there.
Yeah, like, it's great. Like, once again, Cybird's localization team, A+, we love you guys. You do such a great, amazing, wonderful job.
Yes, thank you, Cybird, for the joys and happiness that we have gained from playing Ikemen Vampire.
Yes, thank you. Vka, who's your favorite LI?
It's Mozart. Obviously, it's Mozart. I'm sorry, I cannot say that anymore. He is my grumpy attitude, kind of teasy, shaky kind of boy, and I love him. What else can I say?
I know. He's
That's
your
it.
type.
He's grumpy, and I love him. Done. What about you? Who is your favorite LI?
I don't think I have a favorite LI.
That's actually kind of surprising to me.
I like a number of the LIs.
Okay.
I mean, I loved Arthur's route. I really liked Theo. I really liked Leonardo. His route was a little too angsty for me, but I love Leonardo as a character.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just, I like the characters. That's the thing. Like, I think the only character that I have played that I was like, I don't like this guy was Shakespeare. But like I said before, Shakespeare is one of those characters that people are either going to be really into or they're going to be like, I don't like this guy.
Yeah. The other ones are all painted as somewhat as like a protagonist. But in Shakespeare's route, you know that he's the antagonist in most people's routes. So there's something more going on that you really have to follow along. And if you dig it, you dig it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I guess I can agree with you in that sense. Like, I really did like Vincent's route as well. I did like Napoleon's route. I haven't played Arthur's route. I feel like he would give Mozart a run for his money with just how snarky he is.
He's great.
But yeah, I really, really enjoyed playing through Mozart's route. His was the fastest for me because I just wanted to keep going back for more. But there are other characters that I have like done events with that I really enjoyed as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think all of the characters are really great. I can say I have a favorite because it's my type, but the other ones I also enjoyed. It's not to say that the others are not enjoyable. That's right. He is my type. He is a beautiful, beautiful, grumpy man.
Yeah. So,
yes.
That is Ikemen Vampire.
That is Ikemen Vampire.
Temptation in the Dark.
Temptation in the Dark.
What are we going to end on today?
Let's end on something we haven't done in a Bishounen on the Go-nen series.
Yeah.
Bone, marry, yeet off a cliff.
Yeets!
I don't know why we decided to do this, but I'm going to get my trusty Yukimura mug.
Yeah, we've got all of the Ikemen Vampire guys' names in an Ikemen Sengoku mug.
That's right.
Cyber! We love you!
I feel like I need to get in. Do they have an Ikemen Vampire mug? I need to get one for Mozart.
I don't think so. These mugs were limited edition, and I only got 2 of them.
Okay.
I should have gotten more.
Well, thank you, Yukimura, for being our Bone, marry, yeet off a cliff vessel.
Yes. So who are we doing?
Let me shake them up.
Shake, shake,
Shaking.
shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake
your
Yukimura.
vampire. Oh.
Shake Yukimura.
Oh, we did say Yukimura last time. I was confused. Okay. Would you like the honors?
Sure. Who was number 1? Oh, and we only put season 1 LIs
That's
in
right.
here,
Only
so
season 1 LIs.
I can't date Saint Germain.
That's right.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Leonardo.
Okay, that's our first LI.
Arthur Conan Doyle.
Oh, no. Okay, Arthur Conan Doyle.
Oh, this is going to be hard. Last one is Napoleon Bonaparte.
Ah! Oh, no! Okay, so this is a problem because there are no characters. Well, okay, there are characters that I would immediately yeet off a cliff. None of these 3 are characters I would immediately yeet off a cliff. Okay, so we have Napoleon Bonaparte, Arthur Conan Doyle, and Leonardo da Vinci. Oh dear.
I know.
Okay, what is your answer here?
Okay, I think this is going to surprise you.
Okay.
I would marry Napoleon. I would bone Arthur.
Okay.
And I would yeet Leonardo. And I think I would yeet Leonardo because I feel like he's the one who would survive the yeeting.
That's true. That's true.
I'm not going to tell you why. If you want to know why, go listen to the spoilery section that we did.
Right. That's right. Napoleon also would probably survive the yeeting, just saying.
Yeah, but...
If you do the route, you'll find out why.
But you know who wouldn't survive the yeeting?
Yeah, Arthur Conan Doyle would not survive
a writer.
the yeeting.
Arthur's a writer.
You're being awfully optimistic about those. But you know what? I 100,000,000% agree with you.
For the same reasons?
For the same reasons. Number 1, like, Napoleon would be awesome husband material.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. He'd be a really good husband.
Yes, he's responsible, he's protective, he's, like...
He has life
He's
skills.
a normal person.
Like, he's relative to the other dudes in this game, he's a normal person.
Yeah. Arthur, our fuckboy, he's bound to be talented in the bedroom.
Yes.
Sorry, like, why would you not?
I can tell you from the side stories he's very talented in the bedroom.
I can also tell you from the side stories he is very talented in the bedroom and in the garden and in the piano room and everywhere else in the mansion. He is very talented.
He's very talented in every room plus the outdoors. Ooh, in one side story, on the street in the rain.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't showed you that one yet.
Sexy. And Leonardo da Vinci, we don't really want to yeet you off a cliff because we'd like to keep you, but if you get yeeted, you'll probably live.
He'd probably take a nap on the way down.
That's right. And then once he lands, he'll fall asleep.
Yes. Good job.
So that is our answer for bone, marry, yeet off a cliff. We will bone Arthur, we will marry Napoleon, and we will yeet
Leonardo. So we're going to be putting that tweet up after this episode goes live. Please let us know who would you bone, who would you marry, and who would you yeet off a cliff. Thank you for joining us today on episode 32 of Otome Shimai, Mobile Romance, Bishounen on the Go-nen. How did I end up romancing this ultra hot guy on my phone?
Ikemen Vampire.
And do you know what? I said that without reading it.
That's right, she did.
I'm so talented.
I said Ikemen Vampire.
Good job.
Thanks. If you like what you hear and would like to support us, we have a Ko-fi account where you can donate to us, keeping the podcast going.
Thank you to Happy Finch Studio for continuing to support us.
Yes, thank you again for your coffee. We so love and appreciate you.
We also have Twitter and Instagram where you can stay updated on what we're up to and other cool Otome-related stuff. We also have been streaming on Twitch on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the evenings, usually at 6 p.m. PST. So please join us for that.
Follow us, and if you get a notification, come join for the conversation and fun giggles and laughs.
Yeah, maybe you'll get to watch me translate Japanese poorly.
Yes.
That's always a good time.
That's always a good time. Anyways, thanks everyone for listening.
Bye!